And we're live! Welcome to episode 108 of the MailleWerX Chainmail live streams. I'm your host, Sean, and I run MailleWerX.com, where you can find all your chainmail themed apparel and accessory needs. Right now, we're going to be working on adding some black around the edges to this, because while I have a lot of chainmail projects sitting around, I did not have time to sit and prepare one for this evening. So we're just gonna get started, see how it goes. All right. Oh. Gotta do the share. Hey Barb, how you doing? All right. Alright. I'm doing alright. I did not have the time to prepare something for this stream, so we're just gonna go ahead with working on keep working on this Raiders flag and see how it goes. Just a nice relaxing stream. No pressure. Right, let's get Frank over here. Alright, what are we looking at, Frank? That's pretty good. We got the detail work done. Sounds like I'm in a haunted house. Do I have reverb or something? I wonder if I have reverb. Or do you mean the music? You mean the music? That would make sense. Kinda haunted housey. See, it's turned up a little bit. Meeny, meeny, miny, where's my volume button? No, the music that was playing? Okay. Because I just had to turn off my computer and do a huge update. So that, I didn't get down here in time to double check, but that generally screws with the sound in some way. I like haunted house music. It has been a really long time since I was in a haunted house. My kid's getting old enough that probably not next year, but maybe in the next couple years he'll be old enough to go to a haunted house without getting too scared. When I was a wee lad, my Uncle Sean and his friends ran a haunted house in Idaho, and I got to be a part of it. See here. I was a bit of a turd back then. So most of the volunteers were my age, right? And we were not paid or anything. We were just like people that wanted to come hang out and do a group effort haunted house. We had dry ice in the swamp. And a guy with a snorkel roaming around the swamp with a like swimming under the water, reaching up with a hand at people walking by, and the dry ice would bubble in the water. We had a group of people that had some very large, I don't know what kind of snakes they were, but they're the 15 to 20 foot range, probably some kind of reticulated python. So that was cool. I remember them, they fed the snake a rabbit, don't do that. What is it doing? And so there's this snake, right? And okay, like the snake was balled up, nuzzling this rabbit, getting ready to eat it, and it was easily this big, right? I'm 5'9". This snake was several feet longer than I am tall, right? And it probably weighed about as much as I did at the time. It was an enormous snake. Just balled up, nuzzling this rabbit, getting ready to drop its jaw and eat it. And one of the girls like walks by, and this girl was scared to death of the snakes, right? She just casually walks by, and the snake like turns its head towards her and kind of hisses, and she doesn't even notice. And it wasn't until later someone was like, Jessica, did you know that you almost got bit by the snake? She's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, we were feeding the snake and you walked right on by. I didn't even notice. It was funny. What else do we have? One of okay, so one of the rooms was that I did the first year, right? I played Freddy Krueger, tied up. Okay, so you're walking down a hallway, you look right into a window, and you see Freddy Krueger with his hands behind his back, tied up, watching, being forced to watch Barney, right? So that's pretty funny. And then you walk like 2 steps past the room, and there's a guy dressed as the abominable snowman, chained to a pallet, and he would like lurch out at people to scare them. So people would be like, oh, haha, Freddy Krueger being forced to watch Barney. Ah, abominable snowman! That was pretty good. There was one other room I remember doing, and it was a strobe light on it's like a black and white room, and the spots were kind of painted like cows. And so they put me in a costume that was also black and white, painted like the walls, and I had this black spot over my eyes made of a material you could see through. And so like, whenever people would come around the corner, right, I wouldn't move for a minute, and they'd have this strobe light effect, and all of a sudden I'd run towards them. That got a lot of people. And then okay, so the people didn't like move on after I like ran out to scare them. I remember just like trying to come up with some kind of dance move where, you know, that would make them like laugh and be like, oh, okay, all right, that was it, it's over, right? Move along. That was pretty good. There was a hospital ward room where they had a bunch of nurse zombies that they would just like walk around the room a little bit until the door closed, and there was this, it was in an old warehouse, there was like a big sliding latch on the door that made a lot of noise, and then they would all start screaming, the lights would start flickering. And okay, so you would come from the nurse's ward and you would go into the dungeon, right? And I played a plant, like I was planted into the audience, right? And I had a harness on that would lift me up. So the dungeon master, the royal torturer, big guy named Mike, he'd grab me out of the audience, the line of people there. He'd grab me, throw a noose around my neck, and he would also hook a clip to the back of the harness, and then he'd like pull me up in the air, and I'd like pretend I was hanging, and that freaked a lot of people out too. That was pretty good. Man, I haven't thought about that stuff in years. But yeah, my Uncle Sean and his friends Pat and I saw my Uncle Sean recently, and by recent I mean sometime within the last 2 years. Him and his family came out to my mom's funeral back in 2019, so a year and a half ago now. Anyway. And then my Uncle Sean is also responsible for me making Chainmail. Right? Many years before the haunted house escapades, I was hanging out with him. I don't remember doing what. And he like pulls out this patch of metal rings and starts weaving. And I was like, "Oh, that's really cool. What is that?" Oh, it's chainmail. And I went home and I got some wire from my grandpa and some pliers and some. I got. Where are they? Are they here? Here. I'm gonna change the. Okay, so my grandpa gave me lineman's wire, which is like probably 14 gauge, maybe 12 gauge. It's thick wire. It's probably 14 gauge. I have some 11 gauge. It's probably not 12 gauge. It's probably 14. And he gave me this pair. Let's get some light on these. This pair of snips to cut it, right? And I took a pair of vice grips and a piece of iron rebar, and I hand wound the wire around the rebar, and it's insanely, ridiculously thick wire. And then I cut my rings with this pair of snips, and then I tried to weave them together into my first patch of European 4-in-1, which it worked. It wasn't pretty, but it worked. So, and that was, I was 14 at the time, and then the haunted houses were probably when I was 15 and 16, right around there. Well, that was, had to be when I was like 13 and 14, and somewhere in there, the haunted houses sometime when I was 13 or 14. And then the chainmail was right around the time I was 14. And I've been weaving off and on ever since. Oh yeah, worked in a haunted house. I should add that to my resume, right? Like, anymore, I have zero intention of ever working for anyone else ever again but myself. Not that I work for myself now, but, you know, one day I'll get there. And if I ever have to make a resume after that, I'm gonna put that on my resume. Knows how to make chainmail. Can spend hours doing repetitive things well. Also worked in a haunted house. Plays a great Freddy Krueger. It was a good time. Very, very long time ago. One of the few times in my youth when I was let out from underneath the thumb of my parents. Not that they were like oppressive or anything, but you know, we didn't have a lot of money, and so we were always just like hanging out at our house for the most part. Occasionally we'd go to another family member's house, but growing up in a small town, there was just not a lot to do. Oh, and then I got a couple of my friends from school at the time to come. And this was like, I think the last year they did it, the haunted house. they gave him a, he's like probably 6'5", skinny as a beanpole. Put a latex like skull mask on his face, right? And this giant like scythe, like a real scythe that he would sweep, you know, across the concrete and it would spark. And he'd just stand at the door menacingly. I think he had a pretty good time. Excuse me. So, if you ever get a chance to work in a haunted house, I definitely recommend it. You definitely meet some interesting people, and it's a cool experience to see how much work goes on behind the scenes. But be careful, a lot of drunk people like to come through haunted houses. That can get problematic. So. Alright, so now I gotta sit down and figure out like what we're gonna work on next. I did not have time to figure out like what a good project for today was, or what a good project for this evening would be. And so we are still working on the Raiders flag. I probably have about another 10 or 15 hours on this. But I didn't want to do another 10 or 15 streams on it, you know what I mean? But we'll do at least one more. This may come up again in the future. Gotta get it done. So what is everybody else up to? How was your Wednesday? How's your week? Hope it's going well. I'm supposed to have some labs drawn tomorrow, but our insurance company changed at work, and so now I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get those done. I'm not gonna pay out of pocket for them, and I'm not gonna go to an out-of-network provider for that crap. So, like, it's just a physical. I should get it done, but I'm not gonna pay for it. So I gotta figure that out. I'll go in tomorrow after I drop my kid off. I can't have anything to eat or drink until my labs are drawn, so I have to wait until after I figure out if they will accept my insurance or not. You know, it's kind of one of those things where it's like my insurance changed and I had zero input into the matter, and if I lose my doctor on it, I'm gonna be pretty pissed. So, because I have a really good doctor. Not that I'm, I don't constantly go see him or anything. He's just very personable, very professional. Going good, working your inlay and watching me. Sweet. Got some new kits today. Sweet. You need a break from some dream catchers? Right on. Yep, that's the wonderful thing about chainmail is if you get like wore out or, it's kind of burnt out on one thing. There's always 100 other things that you can learn how to make, you know? Like leather work and woodwork and metal work in general, you know, chainmail is only limited by your imagination. Hey, BD 1980. Like, the wine bottle holster got sent out. Finally made it to the post office after much cajoling. What else? What else did I send? Oh, I sent out, okay, so I got some anodized titanium chopsticks from Cinnabar over on Twitch that I won. And I'm sure most people know who Stephen Hoffman is, Cinnabar over on Twitch. But he anodizes titanium, right? And if I get the light right on this, you can see it's got a nice, this is a titanium coin. It's a round to it, because one day I'll get round to it, right? And he anodized all the color into this. And I sent two similarly anodized chopsticks out to my brother out in Japan, and they use chopsticks every day out there. And I was like, yeah, you know, that'd be a really cool gift. And my brother has sent me stuff like all the time from his travels in the Navy, and I've never sent him anything because I'm a lazy bum brother. And so I hope that this makes up for it a little bit. No, you don't know who Cinnabar is? He is a Twitch streamer, and he anodizes titanium and makes chainmail on stream. Hey Bobby, how you doing? Yeah, Cinnabar. You look that up, it's like some kind of red stone or mineral or something. I don't know what the origin of his username is. My username, MailleWerX, is, you know, just my website name, my business name, and it's not cool, it's just, you know, useful. You're doing good? It's good to hear. Alright. Oh, I've got someone working on the website. So if you've been to the website lately and noticed that if you select a size of an item that has a size variant, you'll see a like 20 it's like 10, but it looks like 50 prices pop up. Not all different, but a bunch of them are zero. Like 0.00, 0.00, you know, 37.97, 0.00, right? And it's just this ugly mess. And so I am having someone take a look at that. So if you've been to the website and have not have run into trouble ordering because of that, it will be fixed soon. So I'm glad that's going. Because then, you know, one step forward, two steps back. Once that's done, I can focus on a couple other, I can put my effort into other things. We're not able to find Cinnabar. I don't know. I mean, his Twitch should still be active. If you send me like a Twitch whisper, and I will try to send you a link to him. He's under, I believe he's under Makers and Crafting. But a very gifted chainmail artist. He's made some just absolutely phenomenal stuff. And I am fortunate enough to have a couple of stickers and a couple of titanium pieces from him. Went to the grocery store today. Got myself some cookies. Cookies are the last thing I need, but you know, they were really good. And I didn't eat them all, but you know, I had a few. Made spaghetti last night and then macaroni tonight. So I'm good on carbs for a little bit, but carbs give you that sweet tooth that after you eat them. Cheating Cheetah, said Roni. How are you, Cheating Cheetah? Appreciate you being here. Oh, yeah. Macaroni, to be specific. Gotcha. It's difficult to focus on chainmail and comments and then also be quick on the uptake, I've found. Some people do a much better job than me. I'm good. Who am I talking to? I have people watching over on Facebook. There was one other person on Twitch. I think they're off looking for another channel. I just recommended to them. Right. Well, last night, work got away from me and I was delayed. Had to finish up some stuff before I could come on, which I try to avoid, but you know, it's inevitable. I'm talking to the kids at the cool table. Oh, BD's still here? Okay. BD is still here. Try as I might. Sometimes it is important to just sit down and do the proper charting on my patients, no matter how long it takes. And you know, life stuff gets in the way. And as much as I enjoy streaming and hanging out with all you fine people, you have I do have to do my job. So they allow me enough leeway to pretty much run my own schedule, and it's like one of those things I have to stay on top of because it can get out of hand really quickly. What is the clothing above my head about? Are you talking about the tapestry behind me? That? That is a tapestry. It's a chainmail weave called Celtic Vision. Oh, the clothing. Okay, I'm okay. You're talking about this. Okay, so if you go to MailleWerX.com, you will see all kinds of chainmail themed accessories and apparel. Yes, the clothing above my head. Man. So I make chainmail and I design chainmail themed clothing and apparel and accessories that I sell on my website at MailleWerX.com. So if you go there, don't go there today. The prices are all screwed up. I'm having someone work on it, and it should be better by the end of the week. Oh, that's pretty cool. Well, thank you. I think it's pretty cool too. As far as I know, it's the largest chainmail themed apparel store around. There could be one other one. I haven't looked in a while. But all my stuff is based off of chainmail weaves, and I try to make it look as, you know, metallic as possible, while it's a print product. So I'm somewhat successful at it. I like my designs, and you know, I'm the only one you know of. I know of a few others kind of doing something similar, but it's all like general European foreign one. I'm the only one that I know of that knows more than one weave. Could be others out there, I don't know. And I'm the only one that I know of that does like inlays or adds color to any of their designs, because the all the rest of them just like use gray chainmail. The chainmail mask kind of worried you. I don't even think those are on the main store anymore. I think they're only on Etsy. They will be gone soon. Oh, come on. Gotta make room for new stuff. Hopefully we will eventually get to this year. A lot of big plans coming up. Once I get to them. So I'm supposed to do this stream once a night, and I managed to do that most nights. And I'm also supposed to do 1 hour of work on my business a day. That's my goal. And I haven't been able to do that, the business hour, for yesterday and today. So I will try and make up for it this weekend. But hopefully soon I'll have a little more time, and we can get back to designing some new stuff. Everybody likes new designs. We have 2 different styles of shoes up. I want to add at least one more soon. And then I'm hoping Oh, no, I just got done doing 4 different styles of bags, like shoulder bags and handbags and whatnot. And then this year I want to do bathroom sets, shower curtains, bathrobes, and I'm hoping to do the mats. I don't know, what do you call them? The water collection mats you stick outside your shower. Know what I mean? That'll be a big project. And then I want to do bed sets, like duvet cover blanket things. That's gonna be another big project. But I would like to get all that up this year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And then just continue to make as many different designs as I can, and then hopefully get better at designing, and then sell wonderful stuff to everyone, which will work really great as chainmail becomes a global phenomenon. Which I think it's pretty primed to become a very big hobby as people get more exposure to it. So there's just gonna be like a movie or an event or a viral video or something, a catalytic event, and then like boom, everybody's gonna wanna learn how to make chainmail. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe it will just continue to grow at a good rate. But I'm hoping for, you know, the global phenomenon effect, because, you know, people who make chainmail like chainmail themed apparel and accessories. So hopefully it'll work out. Alright. What are Barb and Rick working on? Saw Rick earlier on the Booga Box. I didn't get to hang out, but I saw him pop up. And I believe he's working on his Raiders, or his Kansas City Chiefs flag. That Chiefs flag inlay. Bobby's getting ready to go back to a JPL 3 in Seattle Seahawks colors. What? Only football game I ever watched was between the Packers and Seahawks. Need a break from the Dreamcatchers. You got some kits from MD, keychains, Japanese balls, and JPL 3. Right on. The Seahawks were the nearest professional team to Boise, Idaho, where I grew up. And so there were a lot of people who were Seahawks fans. I was not. I never watched football growing up. You live in the Pacific Northwest, home of the Seahawks? I love the Pacific Northwest. Celtic statue keychains. I got a box of those, I think. I don't think they're keychains, I think they're just ornaments, is what I made out of them. You just moved back home. Speaking of apparel, has anyone done chainmail pants? You're looking to see if there's a pattern before you go freestyling. There is. I mean, I'm assuming you're talking about actual chainmail, right? Like not a print product, like what I design. There is a. Facebook group that is dedicated to armor, and a lot of guys in there make very historical chainmail pieces, and I am not remembering the name of the group right now. Didn't help the issue with your hands. The gauges are 12, 14, and 16. Your poor hands, Barb. I don't get hand pain so much as I get pain in my elbow right there. Right? Like this constant inflammation. Hello, Lady Kachara, how are ya? Yes, like 4-in-1 or maybe a diamond inlay. I've never made chainmail pants. Trying to think. Someone just did it like a whole Superman costume in the main chainmail page. Stretchy would be cool. Like the whole suit, full Superman suit out of chainmail. And I don't know if it's stretchy. I don't know how they get it on. Good, Sleepy. You got your glass of wine and headed to bed soon? Sweet. Follow a chap design for pants. Aren't they called like chosses or something? I'm not good with armor, historical armor names. I couldn't remember the name of a pommel for a sword the other day. Yeah, that Superman costume was freaking cool, right? Like, I'm happy with my little Raiders flag here. I think that's pretty awesome. But yeah, that Superman suit was badass. You must have missed the Superman costume. I think it's in the main chainmail group. If I remember correctly. Superman silk is built on the mannequin, not wearable. Oh, that's too bad. So that, okay, like that's cool, but not, like, I don't know if I would put that much effort into something I couldn't wear. No, like, I have okay, I've done a few shirts, right? And my first one was the worst. The next 3 were all okay, but my motorcycle vest, which probably took me the most amount of time and has chainmail and leather, right? Like, I would not put the amount of energy into something I don't know, I couldn't wear. I don't think I don't think I would do that. I don't know. Like, as an art piece, it's pretty awesome in and of its own standing. So maybe, I don't know. Got to find it. Seen the Deadpool one? Alright, have a good night, Barb. Hope your hands feel better. The form-fitting aspect of it is to Barbie-like design and needs that golden buyer. I'm designing a Raiders flag I don't wear, but yeah, but I'm saying it okay. This is 60 hours so far, and I think my vest probably took me around, it took me 3 years off and on, but it's all Japanese 12 and 2, so between the weaving and the weaving the rings together and then weaving the leather to get it attached to the leather vest, I have a significant amount of time in it. 3D art like a jelly cube with the artist's own liking with the median. You mean with the mannequin, not median? Yeah, but like I said, I don't know. Like, it's awesome. But I would want to wear it. That Superman in a chainmail outfit. Oh, male. Male is the median? Do you mean media? You want to wear my Raiders flag and some cape? Yeah. I want to see my friend's face when he gets this. I'll have to call his wife and ask her to take a picture when he opens it up. Or like make a video of it and send it to me. That would be badass. Paint, oil, paper, paper mache, wood, metal, we do mail. Right, but is it median or is it media? Because if it's median, then I've been wrong a really long time. Which, not an uncommon thing. That's alright. It's alright. You know, it doesn't matter. I'm smelling what you're stepping in. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. So, media is video. Well, it is, but I don't know. Somebody grab a dictionary. We need an authority on this. I don't know. Like I said, it doesn't matter. I am understanding what you were trying to iterate to me. So I was just confused because, you know, if it's median, and like I said, it's IR wrong. Music is a median of art too. Right. Like, I get what you're saying, I just always thought it was media. But whatever. It doesn't matter. You've lost where John was going. I think John was just defending the individual's decision to utilize chainmail on a mannequin. which, you know, perfectly reasonable thing to do. I would just want to be able to wear it. Paint in mail, and Sean likes his paint in one color, where the Superman is multicolor. I do like my paint in one color. I don't like paint. I don't. God. If you're ever tempted to ask me to come over and help you paint, I will say no. What is this? The world is moving on. Eye of something. I don't want to listen to that. Alright, let's see here. Well, you love inlays, but you can't make one. You make lots of other stuff. Can't do the inlays. Well, first off, you don't have to make them this big. You can do like an 8-bit video game character, and that translates real well, and it's fairly simple, fairly quick to map out. They're astounding and appreciate the work involved, and seeing the process inspires you to pursue long hours of just ring weaving. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, no one has to make an inlay or anything. I'm just saying they're not as hard as they look, right? And it's a lot easier to pre-plan one than it is to try and freehand it like I did with this one and like I'm doing with the next one. I have learned my lesson. I will always pre-plan my inlays from now on. Because this was ridiculous. Counting, restitching, colors not matching. Oh yeah, lots of that. Especially on this next inlay that I've got. It's the colors straight up do not match. And after wasting several, I don't know, tens of dollars on rings, trying to find a batch of rings that matched, I realized that I was never going to get them to match, and so I kind of abandoned the project for 15 years. And it's just been sitting there. And I'm just like, maybe if I start streaming, I will be inclined to make more chainmail, and I can use that time to use up all the rings in my basement, and then we will finish all these projects that have been laying around for 15 years. Why you had to buy all Whitney's 22 gauge before you couldn't get any more? Yeah. I want to play with some of that stuff. I do. But I gotta get through all the rings down here first, which I have no idea how many I have. I just know that they need to be used up. You have 18 rubies with projects all planned for it. Dude, I gotta admit, man, like your beadwork and your... What were those, like, the... I don't want to call them... They weren't diamonds, but the big glass diamond things you had, those are cool. and the gems you're adding to your pieces, like, that is a skill all in its own. That's great about the division of labor, is that when people are giving the choice to choose what they want to make, you know, things get really interesting. The huge ones are lead gems from Hobby Lobby. I have some beads, and I have some other stuff. We might delve into those one of these nights. In fact, you know what? I should, I got 3 bins full of random stuff that are related to chainmail, but not chainmail. Leaded glass, not lead. Lead glass. The rubies are man-made rubies. That's cool. I worked with some man-made pearls once. Very, very pretty stuff. Or grown in a lab. Like, I'm okay. I bought 2 diamond rings in my lifetime, and I'm over, like, stones. I no longer care where it came from. Diamonds are, oh no, it's a complete ripoff. That's all right. Get an emerald. If you're US based, find a gem mine, get your own. Yeah, no. Maybe if I start finding, you know, gems pop up on my property, that'd be one thing, but otherwise I'm not gonna go digging for nothing. Perk miner mine in New York can mine golf ball sized diamonds. Jesus. That, of course, I'm sure they never see the light of day either, right? Yeah, anyway. Yep. Paid for 2 with a bunch of diamonds on it, and never again. I want, you know, assets that retain their wealth, or their value, rather. Not assets that depreciate after it comes out of the jeweler's case, you know what I mean? Oh, the Herkimer is easy one. Costs come from cut. So you can get like an uncut diamond sized, or uncut golf ball sized diamond from them. But in order for someone to cut it, that's where the cost is. Interesting. Alright. Might not take as long as I thought. Buy rough, cut yourself, value goes up. There is a guy on Twitch who cuts his own stones. He's got the greatest laugh I've ever heard. It's like a big guffaw, right? Like when you read the word guffaw in a book, that's what his laugh sounds like. I love it. And he sits there and, you know, talks about gems and cuts gems on the, he like designs the cuts in some kind of gem program, and then goes and do his little lapidary set and starts cutting stones. He's got an Etsy too. So if I were, you know, if I were gonna buy stones, it'd be from him. $20 to $75 an hour. 10 to 45 hours a facet. Follow a guy that does opals and you've been doing your own. That's awesome, dude. Alright. Alright, guys. Let's see here. We're working on this my right hand lower corner here. I think the saber blades look pretty awesome. We got to go all the way around with some black. That's actually a fair amount, considering it's just an hour. So maybe I don't have as many hours as I thought left in this. Obviously, I do have a few, but all right. Let's see here. All right, I don't. Josh isn't still alive, is he? No. Okay. I didn't think so. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody else who is live at the moment. Less unweaving, Phil. Looks great. Thank you. Alright, let me see. Alright, if you guys haven't followed me on Twitch, please go do that. And try and figure out a way to... I have to learn how to raid people over there. I'm going to learn how to do that. And, you know, when we do, I would appreciate it if you guys came along with me for a little bit while we go and see what someone else is up to. I will continue to work on figuring out how to do that. And in the meantime, I will see you guys tomorrow night, and if not, at the latest, Friday. Alright? I've been trying to work on inlays for a while. My advice is don't try to freehand them. My unsolicited advice, you didn't ask for it, but here it is. Use Stitch Fiddle or the inlay grid pattern program to map out your inlays before you start working on them, so that way you have an accurate ring count and you don't end up like me with just random batches of rings that don't match and frustrate the hell out of you. So you can also use Microsoft Excel, I think other people have told me. So good luck with all your projects, guys. I will see you later on. Okay, everybody have